typically when you say a buy-in, that's like you're bringing on one or more or an additional partner. So they don't own or they're not purchasing 100% interest in the business. A buyout would be if one of those partners wants to leave and the other partners buy their interest back. And that one partner now leaves and the other partners absorb their interest.
Well, and there's also the associate to partner. So like, for instance, if you're a huge dental practice, like I've done employment agreements for certain practices who are, they have huge practices and they have multiple associates. Sometimes in the employment agreement, they'll put in the employment agreement that if somebody works for a certain period of time for the practice, they have, or they're offered the opportunity to become a partner. And so they have this outlined a lot of times as a buy-in. So they do a percentage buy-in, like they'll do maybe 10% after this period of time, 20% after this period of time, all the way up to that now they're owning the practice completely. For a dentist to buy in that way, there's dentists that buy in that don't work for the practice, that work outside of that practice, and they purchase it because it's listed. And then that's a totally different type of acquisition. There's practices that sell to DSOs. Those are also a different type of acquisition. There's practices that merge with one another. I mean, we haven't really handled that. If you have one practice and another practice, sometimes they want to join and that becomes a group practice. And so
And what we
that's a
see, the
strategy.
size of the business definitely impacts the multiples that we apply.
Mm-hmm.
So typically we see $0 to $1 million revenue, $1 to $5 million revenue, and then $5 million and above. And there's like those three size categories, and each of them have a different multiple because the larger the business, the more value. So when they merge, they're kind of, rolling up. And even though the businesses independently don't really change, they are together more valuable.
Yeah. And that lowers the risk too, right? Rachel, we talked about
Right.
risk, and if you're larger, the larger you are, the less risk you
Yeah,
have.
your risk is spread out.
Yeah.